channel. As promised, this week we are making another presidential themed cocktail. This one is called Mr. President and was created by Andy Pearson in London in 2010 for Barack Obama, I think. This is a slight variation on what he created. I couldn't find any details as to his original recipe, but it's kind of like a twist on the El Presidente, which we made last week, and a Negroni. So let's see how it turns out. You're going to need, let me get this right, 1.5 ounces of white rum, 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth, and 1/2 ounce of red bitter. Now you could use Campari. I'm using Contratto. I know that Campari is going to give a bit more kick than Contratto, and if I had it, I would use it. I think after having tried both, I would say I do prefer Campari, but totally up to you. There are also numerous other red bitters that you will find on the market, and I'm sure that any of them will do quite nicely here. So we're going in with 1.5 ounces of the rum. Excuse me if you can hear my tummy rumbling. I always seem to be hungry, and it must be snack time. Okay, and then 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. I just realised, yep. Sometimes, you know, I've used this jigger so many times, and even now, sometimes I'm like, oh wait, no, that's the wrong side. You used the wrong side for that measure. And I didn't. It was the right one, but continual self-doubt. And then it is going to be 1/2 ounce of your choice of red Italian style aperitivo, kind of bitter. Okay, so we are just gonna stir it with my favorite chopstick for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, till the outside of the glass is nice and chilled and the drink is nice and appropriately diluted. Now I'm going to serve this in a coupe. You could easily also serve it over the rocks, whatever you prefer, or if you just have some kind of interesting vessel you would like to serve it in, and that's fine. Now I'm intrigued to see how this plays with these quantities. I have made a Negroni before and just straight swapped out the gin for rum, and found it was really delicious actually, very kind of summery, and it's amazing how one clear spirit swapped in for another can totally change a drink, and the rum really did. And I never would have thought to do it before. You know, I've tried mezcal, I've tried obviously the boulevardier, but yeah, rum was a good choice, and that was obviously just in equal proportions, with this being different proportions. We'll see how that plays out. Okay. Enough stirring. Let's strain this guy. Ooh, no. Let's not slide everything across the table. Goodness me. Okay. Now it's said to garnish with an orange peel, but I actually have a slice of like a blood orange that I maybe stole on a walk. And you know, for something different, I'm just going to pop that in there. Why not? It smells very good. It smells quite fruity actually. I think that's the Contratto, as compared to Campari, does have more of a sort of slight red berry smell, which is nice. Okay, cheers, and let's give it a taste. Let me try again. The bitterness is definitely kind of more in the background, but what I'm really surprised by is how forward the sweet vermouth is in there. And that's odd because there's only half the amount of vermouth as there is rum. But I feel like I'm not tasting any of the rum. That's very strange. Because when I made one before just with rum instead of gin, just like a straight Negroni swap out, I felt like the rum was much more present. I could actually have maybe been using a different rum. It was a long time ago, I can't quite remember. Maybe that's what it was, but yeah, I don't know. about that. I feel like I preferred the straight swap out in the Negroni, but that's not to say that this isn't a nice drink. It is a nice drink. It's very smooth. Goes down very easy. You've got some of the sort of wintry, almost spiced notes that you have going on in here. Of course, it could also be because I was using a different brand of sweet vermouth, and they can vary really widely. We always talk about it as if it's this super interchangeable ingredient, you know, just any sweet vermouth. But especially these days, there are now more craft vermouths being made with, you know, very specific botanicals. The variants can be wide between them, so that's another thing to note. You can play around with different brands. Yeah, no, it's a nice drink. I think maybe I just was sort of expecting the rum to be more forward in there. And it's there, it's subtle, but not quite what I was expecting it to be. But I do think that actually, considering I was just poo-pooing Contratto and saying that I preferred Campari, I feel like in this application I really like the Contratto. I feel like, if you think about it sort of in terms of shapes, as I'm sure we all think about drinks in terms of shapes, the Contratto seems to be coming in there at the bottom with that bottom layer of soft bitter flavour, whereas I feel like Campari has a tendency in drinks to come in like right at you at the top and maybe take over a little bit, whereas this kind of plays a little more nicely. So yes, an interesting drink, and I would definitely say try it out again. We're back to the simple 3 ingredient drinks because it's the new year and no one has any energy for anything complicated right now. It's January, we need it to just roll straight off the bar cabinet into the shaker or the mixing glass and practically straight down our throats at this stage. Yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have any views on Contratto versus Campari, then also I would love to hear them, or any other red bitters that you like. Please hit the subscribe and like buttons below if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for another drink.